As we continue from where we left off, someone among the crowd begins voicing their opinions, agreeing that if Gu Changge were truly the successor of demonic arts, he would never have taken such an enormous risk. One of them remarks that, in his view, someone was most likely meddling behind the scenes of this matter. Another person nods slightly before adding that, no matter how one looked at it, this appeared to be the scheme of treacherous individuals plotting from the shadows. Ancient Buddha Chan remains silent throughout the exchange, merely narrowing his eyes as he quietly observes the reactions around him. Meanwhile, the Taoist dressed in black robes standing toward the back suddenly points forward and remarks that Gu Changge cannot prove that he did not send someone to kill the Buddha's son. Can he? The Shao Valley Dao achiever folds his arms in agreement and responds that indeed, how exactly could Gu Changge prove that he had nothing to do with this matter? Hearing this, Gu Changge narrows his eyes slightly before calmly asking how they intended to prove that he was involved instead. He states that they must provide at least one piece of evidence, whether a witness or some form of physical proof. But just then, a powerful presence suddenly appears from behind. The ancient heavenly venerate descends into view, hovering calmly in midair as his gaze sweeps across the gathered crowd. He remarks that, in his opinion, the most important matter before them all right now is to travel to the place where the Buddha's son was killed and determine whether any clues could still be found there. He then adds sharply that this would be far more productive than standing around making baseless and wild speculations about his beloved disciple. At once, someone within the crowd exclaims that the true immortal had returned. Seeing him appear, Gu Changge immediately calls out to his master. The ancient heavenly venerate smiles faintly before telling Gu Changge to come with him, saying that he still had more to discuss with him. Gu Changge obediently nods and responds respectfully, "Yes, master." Off to the side, the one-eyed old Taoist silently strokes his beard while transmitting. He remarks that this Gu Changge was definitely not clean, but since the ancient reincarnation, a true immortal, was determined to protect him, they should refrain from making any moves against him for now. Narrowing his single eye slightly, he continues inwardly that Gu Changge was no ordinary individual. Unless this youth was eliminated, he could not rest easily. He then concludes that they would need to unite with more Taoist factions. Back on Gu Changge's side, he and the ancient heavenly venerate continue onward together, walking through a quiet passageway. The ancient heavenly venerate notes that once the matter of the eternal overcast is fully resolved, the upper realm should finally enjoy a period of peace. Gu Changge agrees with respectful admiration, saying that he never imagined his master's power would be so formidable. He remarks that the calamity had left countless factions throughout the upper realm completely helpless, yet his master resolved it with nothing more than a mere wave of the hand. The ancient heavenly venerate smiles faintly before modestly remarking that it did take a bit of a toll, though. Gu Changge then bows slightly and offers his congratulations. He notes that it surely would not take long before his master's prestige throughout the upper realm became entirely unmatched. When that time arrived, he adds, a single call from him would echo across the 8 wastelands, powerful enough to move mountains and overturn seas. Hearing this, the ancient heavenly venerate lets out a soft laugh before saying that, after so many countless eons, he truly never expected to encounter someone like Gu Changge. He remarks that Gu Changge was an exceptionally satisfying disciple. Then, gently placing a hand upon Gu Changge's shoulder, the ancient heavenly venerate speaks with unusual honesty. He admits that, truthfully, he feels somewhat ashamed. Aside from leaving behind the token of his legacy, he had not truly taught Gu Changge much of anything else. He continues, saying that although they carried the titles of master and disciple between them, the genuine bond of a true master-disciple relationship had yet to fully exist. A subtle and difficult-to-read smile appears across his lips as he begins to say, "Why don't they?" only to quickly correct himself. Instead, he says that he shall take Gu Changge to see the hermitage where he once cultivated. He explains that the jade slips, the insights of immortals, and the many ancient treasures he had accumulated throughout his life were all preserved there. Hearing this, delight immediately spreads across Gu Changge's face as he exclaims in surprise that his master still possessed a hermitage. Calling it wonderful news, he admits that he had long dreamed of inheriting his master's legacy before eagerly asking where exactly the hermitage was located. At those words, the ancient heavenly venerate inwardly grins. Silently, he remarks to himself that Gu Changge truly was eager to seize a good opportunity the moment he heard of it. As expected, whether mortal or cultivator, none could fully escape the snare known as greed. Outwardly, however, the ancient heavenly venerate remains calm as he tells Gu Changge that the hermitage was not particularly far from there, though the journey would still take some time. He then adds that, considering Gu Changge's wedding was approaching, perhaps they should take that into consideration. But Gu Changge quickly responds that the wedding was not urgent. In his opinion, the master-disciple bond within cultivation held far greater importance. He confidently adds that his wife understood such matters and would surely not object. The ancient heavenly venerate smiles knowingly before agreeing. He tells Gu Changge that they should settle matters there first, and once everything was handled, they would set out together the following day. The scene shifts to the courtyard, where Gu Changge sat looking visibly bored. With little interest on her face, she suddenly asks, "Don't you have your own courtyard?" Nearby, the man dressed in black robes bows slightly as he thanks the sixth crown prince for his advice. In response, the sixth crown prince casually tells him not to be so formal around him. Elsewhere within the courtyard, Yin turns toward Gu Changge with a playful smile and says that she must be terribly bored staying there all alone. She warmly suggests that they had come to liven things up for her. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the courtyard, Princess Luotian and the Heavenly Phoenix Lady remain engaged in their own discussion, speaking quietly among themselves. Just then, Gu Changge enters the courtyard. A trace of amused surprise appears on his face as he looks around and remarks that everyone was already gathered there. He adds that this conveniently saved him the trouble of searching for each of them individually. The moment they see him, everyone immediately rises to their feet and bows respectfully together while greeting him as Brother Gu. Gu Changge, however, looks toward him and asks why he was there as well. Gu Changge approaches the group with invitation letters already prepared in his hand. Calmly, he informs them that his wedding was approaching and politely asks them all to come celebrate with him. The group eagerly accepts the invitations while immediately offering their congratulations. Princess Luotian also takes her invitation, but as her eyes drift downward toward the letter, a faint frown forms upon her face. Noticing this, Gu Changge glances toward her and asks what was wrong. Luotian quickly regains her composure and replies that it was nothing before offering her congratulations to him as well. As Gu Changge hands Yin her invitation, he turns towards Changge and asks why she had become so quiet, noting that such behavior was unlike her. Changge simply responds that he already knew the answer. Hearing this, Gu Changge gently places his hand upon her head and tells her that he would be leaving the divine city the following day. He explains that many people disliked him and that, for her own safety, she should not remain there either. Changge nods slightly before saying that it was fine. She states that she would go find Sister Mingkong and help her prepare for the wedding instead. The next day, Gu Changge and the ancient heavenly venerate travel together through the endless void, moving steadily toward their destination. As they continue their journey, Gu Changge admits that, if he were being honest, he was rather curious. He asks why his master had established his hermitage so far away from the upper realm itself. The ancient heavenly venerate calmly explains that even he could not be certain whether the friends and enemies from his own era had survived until the present day. He says that his decision was mainly to remain distant from the central region of the upper realm. After all, there was always the concern that someone might discover his hermitage and assassinate him while he was in secluded cultivation. As Gu Changge remained silent, his thoughts drifted inward. He reasoned that the ancient reincarnation supreme being must have some grand scheme in motion. Otherwise, there would be no reason to choose such an isolated and desolate location for a hermitage. The universes surrounding them were undoubtedly ancient beyond measure, lying so far from the central regions of the upper realm that they had become completely severed from it, with no remaining connection whatsoever. But then, a slow grin gradually forms across Gu Changge's face. Inwardly, he remarks what a coincidence this was. As the two finally come to a halt, the ancient heavenly venerate calmly tells Gu Changge that they have arrived. He explains that this universe before them was his hermitage. Gu Changge glances around at the surrounding world before thoughtfully remarking that, compared to the ancient realms they had previously passed through, this place certainly appeared vibrant and full of life. However, Its foundations were far too shallow. He notes that it likely could not even sustain the birth of a single true Taoist anymore. Then, after pausing slightly, he adds another possibility. Perhaps it once could, but, turning toward the ancient heavenly venerate with a faint smile on his face, Gu Changge finishes the thought by saying that it had already been harvested by others. The ancient heavenly venerate explains that these universes existed far too distant from the center of the upper realm. Because of that separation, much of their cultivation, inheritance, and understanding of the great Tao had gradually been lost over time. Then, without lingering further, he simply tells Gu Changge to follow him. But instead of complying immediately, Gu Changge slips directly into the void and casually remarks that, since they were already there, it would be a shame not to look around a little first. The ancient heavenly venerate grits his teeth slightly as he calls out to Gu Changge. The scene then shifts. A group of foreign cultivators charge forward with conviction burning in their eyes. Among them, a female cultivator loudly shouts for everyone to kill the monster guarding the immortal gate. She cries out that once the creature was slain, the immortal gate would open wide and the path toward immortality would finally reveal itself. But the reality before them was horrifying. Standing in their path was a gigantic three-headed behemoth, slaughtering the cultivators one after another without mercy. Meanwhile, Gu Changge observes the entire scene with amused surprise. At that moment, the ancient heavenly venerate emerges from the void behind him and sharply asks who had given him permission to run off like that. Yet Gu Changge remains perfectly calm. Instead of answering directly, he asks since when the secrets of ascension to immortality had begun circulating through such remote universes. He then remarks that the entire matter was an obvious lie designed to lure cultivators into throwing away their lives in pursuit of immortality. One after another, they were willingly walking straight into the lion's den. As he watched the slaughter unfold before him, Gu Changge inwardly wondered how the secret of immortality had begun spreading throughout this universe in the first place. He then glances toward the ancient heavenly venerate and calmly says that this monster was the guardian of the immortal gate, a creature that fed upon the true Taoists of this universe while nourishing someone behind the scenes. With a knowing look in his eyes, Gu Changge asks, "Don't you agree, Master?" The ancient heavenly venerate grins faintly before replying, "Dear disciple, you do not need to know everything in this world." Then his gaze deepens as he asks Gu Changge whether he knew why he had brought him here in the first place. A wicked grin slowly spreads across the ancient heavenly venerate's face as he reveals his true intention, openly declaring that he wanted to devour him. Yet, almost mirroring that same madness, an equally maniacal smile spreads across Gu Changge's face as he calmly responds, "So do I." The ancient heavenly venerate is visibly surprised. Staring at Gu Changge, he wonders aloud if his disciple had known his intentions all along. He questions whether Gu Changge had been plotting against him this entire time and asks when exactly he had begun suspecting him. But Gu Changge remains completely composed. He tells him that he had merely been curious about what secrets his master was hiding. Gu Changge then explains that ever since the ancient heavenly venerate handed him that fragment of the eternal overcast source, he had already foreseen this outcome. The only thing he had not expected was that his master himself would become the one to provide such an opportunity. Hearing this, the ancient heavenly venerate's thoughts begin racing. He wonders whether Gu Changge had secretly left behind coordinates and questions how many Gu family ancestors might have been dispatched to this place. Yet the more he thinks about it, the less sense it makes. He had monitored Gu Changge closely throughout the entire journey. There should have been no opportunity for him to arrange anything behind the scenes. Gu Changge, however, reassures him calmly, telling him not to worry. Not a single Gu family ancestor was present there. There was only the two of them. At those words, the ancient heavenly venerate quietly lets out a breath of relief, remarking that the Gu family ancestors had not come after all. But immediately afterward, overwhelming chi erupts from his body. His terrifying pressure floods the surroundings as he demands to know why Gu Changge remained so calm despite everything. He declares that Gu Changge understood nothing about the power of the immortal realm. Gu Changge simply replies that his master had lived through countless ages. Given such experience and power, how could he possibly believe that Gu Changge would dare face him alone without relying upon any support? The ancient heavenly venerate narrows his gaze and asks whether Gu Changge truly believed he had concealed it well. A grin stretches across his face as he remarks that he had sensed the suspicion the very moment others began doubting him. That was why he had always felt something strange about Gu Changge. Then realization settles into his expression. It was the demonic arts. But his grin only widens as he dismisses the matter entirely. Even if Gu Changge truly was the successor of demonic arts, so what? At the end of the day, he declares, Gu Changge remained nothing more than a cultivator of the nirvana realm. But Gu Changge calmly shakes his head and replies that his master had gotten everything wrong. He states plainly that he was not the successor of demonic arts. And as those words leave his mouth, demonic energy suddenly erupts from his body.